just heard something from my neighbor about Robert's condition at the house. Is it really getting worse? Please tell me what's going on. The visiting nurse was at your house longer than usual today from what I could see through my kitchen window. Her car was parked outside for almost 3 hours. That can't be good.
The hospice nurse had to adjust his medication several times this morning. His breathing was quite labored when he woke up, and we struggled to get him comfortable. She's monitoring him closely, but thankfully he's stable now. The new pain management routine seems to be working. He even managed to eat a little lunch and have a meaningful conversation with me about the grandchildren.
What? He's still able to talk and eat normally? That's surprising given how sick he looked last time I drove past your house.
Yes, thank goodness. The new medications from Dr. Anderson are helping manage his pain much better than before. He's even been asking about everyone in the family.
That's good to hear, I suppose. Listen, do you think we could bring the kids by this weekend? I know Robert's been asking about his grandchildren. Seeing them playing around might lift his spirits. Maybe it would even help speed up his recovery if he had something to look forward to. Actually, never mind. I really can't handle seeing him like this in that hospital bed you set up in the living room. All those medical supplies everywhere, the 4 drips, oxygen tanks, and monitoring equipment, it would absolutely terrify the children. They shouldn't see their grandfather so frail and ill. Plus, the smell of all those medications and disinfectants makes me nauseous. It's just too depressing.
I understand it's difficult to see him like this, Rachel. This situation isn't easy for anyone. How about just you and James come by for a short visit? Even 15 minutes would mean the world to Robert. The hospice doctor specifically mentioned yesterday that family visits can significantly improve patients' emotional well-being and overall response to treatment. He really misses seeing you both.
No way, absolutely not. I can't deal with seeing all that medical equipment and the way it's transformed your beautiful living room into something that looks like an intensive care unit. And James is completely swamped at the used car lot right now. He's in the middle of a huge inventory clearance sale. We really can't make time to visit. You understand how business is, right? By the way, since things are clearly getting worse with his condition, maybe we should start discussing some practical matters while we still can. Do you know where Robert keeps all his important financial documents? The deed to the real estate office? His investment portfolio? Stock certificates? I'm just trying to be pragmatic about the situation.
Excuse me, are you seriously asking about his financial documents right now?
Look, we need to be realistic here. Robert's not going to make it much longer. That's obvious from how many medical professionals are coming and going from your house. Someone needs to handle the business side of things properly. You focus on the caregiving. I can take care of sorting out his assets and properties. It's really the most efficient way to handle this situation.
Rachel, I cannot believe what I'm hearing. How dare you talk about Robert not making it when he's fighting so hard every single day? He's going to get through this and return to running his real estate business. The doctors are still optimistic about his recovery. Dr. Anderson specifically mentioned yesterday that patients with his condition can often make surprising comebacks with proper care and family support.
Don't be so naive, Sarah. I know you want to stay positive and keep hoping for some miracle, but we need to be practical about this whole situation. Better to get the inheritance and business transition sorted out now, while we still can think clearly. We'll be too emotional to deal with all the paperwork and legal matters later when we're grieving. I'm just trying to help make things easier for everyone.
Just stop it right now. I find it absolutely incredible that you're too busy to spend even 15 minutes visiting your dying father-in-law, but somehow you have plenty of time to dig into his finances and property holdings. If you have any respect left for this family, you'll drop this inheritance talk immediately. Focus on being there for Robert while you still can. That's what matters right now. James, where are you? I've been desperately calling and texting for the past 20 minutes. The paramedics just rushed Robert to the hospital. He had a severe seizure right after we finally got him settled in his own bed for the first time in weeks. It's really serious this time.
Do you know what time it is? Come on, Sarah. It's 3 a.m. and I just got home from closing a big deal at the lot. I need my sleep. I'll check on Dad after I get some rest. He always bounces back from these episodes anyway. You're probably overreacting again.
This isn't a joke or an overreaction, James. Get to Mercy Hospital right now. Your father's oxygen levels have dropped dangerously low, and he's not responding to treatment. The emergency room doctor doesn't think he'll. Please, you need to come immediately. James, I'm begging you. The doctors are saying this could be your last chance to say goodbye to your father. Don't let your final memory of him be from months ago.
Finally. I mean, this is my moment. Everything's falling into place.
What did you just say? What do you mean by your moment?
Nothing at all. Just thinking out loud. I'm heading to the car now. Should be there in about 20 minutes, assuming there's no traffic at this hour.
Rachel, what are you doing? You can't just lock me out of my own house. This is Robert's memorial service, and it's starting in 15 minutes. I need to get back inside right now to help the minister set up.
Listen, Sarah, there's a lot of opportunity here today for James and me, so why don't you just go somewhere else for a while? We'll handle the memorial service ourselves. You can mourn Robert at home. You're just getting in the way of what we need to do here.
Getting in the way. What are you two planning to do at my husband's memorial service? I know James is my eldest stepson, but he doesn't get to make decisions like this. Especially when he hasn't even helped with any of the funeral arrangements or contacted the family members coming today.
Oh, don't worry about James. He knows exactly what needs to happen today. Everything's already been arranged.
What? And what do you mean by opportunity? This is Robert's funeral service, your father-in-law's memorial. Have you both completely lost your minds?
That's exactly why today is such a perfect opportunity. The owner of Portland's largest real estate company has passed away, which means it's time for his eldest son James to step up and take over the business. Today is James's debut as the new leader of Montgomery Real Estate. Sure, the family will be here, but more importantly, all the top real estate agents and property developers in the area are coming to pay their respects. This is James's chance to network and establish himself as the new owner. And I'll be right beside him as the wife of Portland's newest real estate mogul. I'm so glad we spent 3 hours at Vogue Hair Studio this morning. James got that perfect executive haircut, and my new highlights cost a fortune, but we need to look absolutely perfect for our big moment. I even got a designer black dress, appropriately somber but still fashionable.
So this is what you've both been plotting? You actually went to get salon treatments on the morning of Robert's funeral? I can't believe what I'm hearing. Stop this insanity right now, Rachel. We're here to honor Robert's memory and say goodbye to a beloved husband and father. This isn't some networking event for you and James to schmooze with real estate agents. I'm absolutely disgusted that you're treating this sacred occasion like some kind of business opportunity. And now I understand what James meant at the hospital about it being his time. You're both trying to use Robert's death for your own gain. How dare you turn his memorial service into your personal networking event?
You're the one who needs to wake up, Sarah. Robert is gone, and James is now the head of this family. Do you really think you can speak to the future company owner's wife like that? Know your place. I get that you're emotional because your husband just died, but it's time to face reality. When the father dies, everything passes to the eldest son. That's just how it works. You're not the queen bee anymore, Sarah. You're just the grieving widow, and honestly, we'd all be better off if you just disappeared.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing right now.
The only reason you had any status at all was because of Robert's position, but those days are over. So step aside and let us take control. Your days of bossing everyone around died with your husband's real estate empire.
When have I ever bossed you around, Rachel? When have I ever treated you with anything but kindness?
Are you kidding me? You were always trying to control everything. Pressuring us to visit Robert while he was dying, guilt-tripping us about bringing the kids to see him, even though seeing him hooked up to all those machines would have traumatized them. Every single time you called or texted, it was just to make demands. It was such a waste of time visiting some dying old man. Why would anyone want to do that? Did you seriously think having James and me sit there making small talk would magically cure whatever was wrong with him?
How can you say such cruel things? He was your father-in-law.
You want to know what I really think? Well, you'll find out soon enough. Right now I can't deal with your self-righteous attitude anymore. The service is about to start, and I have more important things to focus on. We'll finish this conversation later. I'm about to become the wife of Portland's biggest real estate mogul. Can you believe I'm actually smiling at a funeral? This is just too perfect.
The wife of Portland's biggest real estate mogul. Have you completely lost touch with reality?
Think about it. Now that Robert's gone, he's leaving behind his entire real estate empire and fortune. James and I will inherit everything, the business, the properties, all of it. From small-town girl to real estate dynasty, it's perfect. I thought that would have been obvious by now. Once James takes over as owner, I'll finally be the successful businessman's wife I've always dreamed of being. Ever since I was a little girl in Idaho, watching those luxury real estate shows, I knew I wanted to marry someone important. And now look at me, about to become the queen of Portland real estate. I just can't stop grinning.
I've heard more than enough from both of you, but especially you, Rachel. First, you lock me out of my own husband's memorial service, then try to turn it into your personal networking event. And now you're practically dancing on his grave, grinning about inheriting his life's work. You are truly one of the most shameless people I've ever met.
Oh right, I should probably try to look more grief-stricken for appearance's sake. Wouldn't want the other real estate agents to see me smiling at my father-in-law's funeral. Got to maintain that proper image, you know?
You've shown your true colors already, so why bother pretending? I'm trying to reach James, but he's ignoring my messages. Something tells me this little power grab of yours isn't going to work out the way you're hoping. Now take your designer funeral outfit and get off my property immediately and keep your mouth shut on the way out.
The king of Portland real estate is gone, and now his eldest son steps up to claim the crown. And that makes me the new queen of Montgomery real estate.
James doesn't even work for Montgomery real estate anymore.
What? Of course he does. He's about to become the owner. You must be so jealous of my imminent success that you're trying to rain on my parade.
I hate to burst your bubble, but Robert's successor has already been chosen. And since James hasn't worked for the company in years, he's definitely not going to be the new owner. Now that you understand the situation, unlock my front door and let me back inside.
What do you mean he hasn't been working there? James told me he's been working at Montgomery real estate ever since he finished community college.
When exactly did he tell you that? Because James was fired from Montgomery real estate 3 years ago.
Fired? What are you talking about?
Yes, fired. He was terrible at the jobs, and it drove Robert crazy. The final straw came when James was supposed to handle an important luxury property listing. He completely cracked under the pressure, had a meltdown in front of the clients, and walked out in the middle of the showing. That was when Robert finally had enough and cut professional ties with him. Robert had originally hoped to pass the business to James someday, but after that incident, those dreams went up in smoke. He had no choice but to fire his own son.
Wait just a minute. I never heard anything about this. But James leaves for work every morning in his suit and tie. He must have found another real estate company to work for after that, right? I mean, I'm not sure exactly where he's been working, but James is still Robert's oldest son. That means the business should automatically go to him. That's how these things work.
No, that's not how it works at all. Robert made it crystal clear to everyone at Montgomery Real Estate that Michael will be taking over as owner. He told the entire staff he couldn't trust James with the company's future, so he was passing it to his younger son instead.
What? Michael is getting the company? And Robert already told everyone?
It's all spelled out in his will. Remember how you were pestering me about Robert's inheritance and assets while he was still alive? Well, you inspired me to get things in order. I took your advice about planning ahead and discussed everything thoroughly with Robert. During one of his better days, we had his lawyer come to the house and drew up a new, very specific will.
And you're telling me this will explicitly states that Michael gets the entire real estate business?
Unlike James, Michael is level-headed and professional. He's already proven himself as an exceptional real estate agent. The entire office respects him. Clients love him. Agents want to work with him, and he consistently brings in the biggest deals. After James was fired, Michael stepped up and worked closely with Robert, learning every aspect of running the business. This succession has been the plan for years. We just made it official in the will to prevent any confusion.
No. No, you must be lying. This can't be happening. The oldest son always inherits the family business. That's just how it works. I've never heard of anyone skipping over their firstborn like this.
Well, Robert really had no choice in the end. James proved himself completely incompetent at real estate sales. He couldn't handle even basic client meetings. Honestly, I'm relieved Michael couldn't make it today, even though he feels terrible about being stuck in New York, closing that major commercial property deal right now. At least he doesn't have to witness his older brother and sister-in-law trying to hijack his father's memorial service. Their behavior would only make this difficult transition even more complicated for him.
This has to be some kind of sick joke. James was just telling me last night that his moment had finally arrived. He was practically bouncing off the walls about becoming the new owner of Montgomery Real Estate.
I'll be happy to explain the reality of the situation to him myself. Now please, unlock my front door and let me back inside. I'm done arguing about your delusional fantasies. I need to focus on honoring my husband's memory properly. The minister and other guests have been waiting patiently to begin the service.
Wait just a minute. Who gives a damn about some meaningless memorial service right now? James and I have much bigger concerns. This was supposed to be my moment, my dream of becoming someone important. That dream is crumbling right before my eyes, and you expect me to care about ceremonies for someone who's already dead?
That's absolutely the final straw. Since you feel that way, I want you both to leave my property immediately. I'm done being polite about this. I'm calling the police right now, and I'll make sure they know that neither you nor my eldest son are welcome at Robert's memorial service. Let's see how you handle being escorted out by Portland's finest.
Mom, what the hell is all this about? Why are you saying I can't take over the business? It's not too late to change things. Just tell Michael to step aside. I'm the rightful owner of Montgomery Real Estate.
Michael is the person your father specifically chose to run the company. He put it in writing in his will. I'm not going to disrespect Robert's final wishes by asking Michael to give up the role his father entrusted to him.
Who gives a damn about Dad's wishes anymore? He's dead and buried. Just make me the owner. It's not like he's going to know the difference from his grave, right?
I cannot believe you're talking about your father's final wishes with such disrespect. Have you completely lost your moral compass?
But what's really going on here? You heartless. Look, I know Dad fired me from the company, but I always thought you'd help me get back in after he died. I've been counting on this. The oldest son is supposed to inherit everything. That's how these things work. You're completely messed up, Mom.
I'm not the one who's messed up. You and your wife are. And while we're at it, why didn't you ever tell Rachel you were fired 3 years ago? Why have you been lying to your own wife this entire time?
I wasn't hiding anything from her. I've been making plenty of money at the Golden Nugget Casino, hitting big jackpots on the slot machines.
Slot machines? You've been gambling to support your family? Wait just a minute. Are you telling me you never even looked for another job after being fired? What in God's name have you been doing these past 3 years?
I gave up on the whole job search thing because I was winning big at the casino. I've been on an incredible streak, making more than enough to keep Rachel in her designer clothes and fancy lifestyle. The slots have been really good to me.
You're a father of 2 young children, James, and you've been gambling away their college fund and financial security at some seedy casino? Have you completely lost your mind? What kind of example are you setting?
I really thought Dad would eventually let me back into the business. I figured if I acted depressed and pathetic enough around him, he'd feel guilty and give me another chance. You know, play on his emotions a bit. But he wouldn't even look at me these past few years. Then he had the nerve to get terminally ill before I could manipulate him into taking me back. How is any of this my fault? He's the one who stopped talking to me and then went and died without fixing things. And now you're telling me perfect little Michael gets everything? Fine. Keep your precious real estate empire. Just give me my share of Dad's money and I'll disappear. You'll never have to deal with me again. I'll use that inheritance to turn my luck around at the casino. I'm due for a massive win. Look, I had to take out some loans to keep playing while waiting for Dad to die. I mean, to let me back in the company. If I don't hit a big jackpot soon, some very dangerous people are going to come looking for their money.
You've been borrowing money from loan sharks to gamble? Dear God.
But Robert must have a massive savings account we'll inherit, right? Sure, half goes to you, Sarah, but the other half is for his sons. Since Michael's getting the whole company, James should get all the cash and stocks. Michael won't need them anyway, he'll have the business. Just sign everything over to us.
James, I have some very difficult news for you. Your father didn't leave behind much liquid assets after his passing.
What the hell are you talking about, Mom? That's impossible. Dad built Montgomery Real Estate from nothing. He's been running it successfully for over 4 decades. He must be worth millions. You have that massive house on Hawthorne Heights and all those investment properties across Portland. And what about his collection of luxury cars? The BMW, the Mercedes, the Audi? How can you possibly tell me he didn't leave much when he's surrounded by all these expensive things?
You really don't understand how your father structured the business, do you? Yes, we have the properties, and he had those luxury cars when he was younger and building his reputation in real estate. But over time, he strategically transferred everything into Montgomery Real Estate's name. All those assets you're talking about, they're company property now, not personal assets. He left me enough for a comfortable retirement lifestyle, but everything else was legally transferred to become company assets. None of that is included in his personal estate or will.
What? Then what happens to all the money and assets? I was counting on. I thought Dad would leave at least a few $100,000. I was banking on using that inheritance to pay off my gambling debts and keep playing the slots without worrying about loans anymore. This was supposed to be my golden ticket, my chance to never have to work another day in my life.
You need to figure out your next steps on your own, James. If you can't find a solution by yourself, then it's time to be honest with Rachel about everything and let her help you through this. As for your gambling debts, you dug yourself into this hole with your irresponsible choices, so you'll have to find a way to climb out of it. The inheritance I'm receiving is just enough to support me through my retirement years. It's not the fortune you seem to think it is.
Sarah, I have something really important to ask you. Please, you have to make James the owner of Montgomery Real Estate. I'm absolutely certain all the agents and clients would prefer him as the next owner. Making Michael the owner instead of the eldest son will destroy the company's reputation. Everyone knows that businesses should pass to the firstborn.
Let me be perfectly clear about something, Rachel. Every single employee at Montgomery Real Estate, along with our most valuable clients, has specifically requested Michael as the next owner. He spent years building relationships with them, and they all trust his ability to lead the company successfully. This isn't up for debate.
But there's a huge problem with Michael that you're all ignoring. He's still single at his age. What's going to happen to Montgomery Real Estate when he retires or passes away? You need to make James the owner now before it's too late for the company's future.
Excuse me? You're actually worried about what happens to the company after Michael. That's what you're concerned about.
Look, Michael might be good at selling houses and managing agents, but he's completely hopeless when it comes to relationships. He's never even had a serious girlfriend, has he? At his age, there's clearly no hope of him ever getting married, which means no children to inherit the business after him. The company's legacy will die with him. But James and I have an absolutely adorable little boy, your grandson. If you make James the owner now, Montgomery Real Estate can stay in the family for generations to come. Our son can carry on the family business legacy. Isn't that what Robert would have wanted?
So now you're trying to use your own child as leverage to get control of the company? Let me tell you something you clearly don't understand, Rachel. You have absolutely no say in who Michael chooses to run Montgomery Real Estate after him. He's not obligated to keep it in the family at all. He can pass it to a trusted employee, merge with another company, or even sell it entirely. That's his right as owner. Neither you, nor James, nor even I have any right to dictate what Michael does with the company when he eventually retires. I probably won't even be alive by then, so there's nothing I could do about it, even if I wanted to.
You can't be serious. I know all about James's gambling debts. I understand that you and Michael are trying to keep all the inheritance money for yourselves, but you have to help us out of this nightmare.
Don't you dare try to make demands. You have no idea how serious this situation is. James owes $30,000 to some very dangerous loan sharks.
$30,000? That's impossible. You have to help us pay it off. He's your son, Sarah. And I'm suffering because of all this too. As his mother-in-law, you have an obligation to help us out of this mess. Please, I'm begging you.
Shut your entitled mouth right now, you spoiled brat. You're both grown adults with children of your own. It's time to start taking responsibility for your actions. I don't care about James' gambling debts, and I never will. He's your husband, so step up and support him through this crisis, instead of running to mommy for help. When Robert was building Montgomery Real Estate from nothing, we took on hundreds of thousands in loans and worked together as a team to pay them off. You can handle $30,000, you pampered princess.
Maybe you were strong enough to handle that kind of pressure, but I'm not. I know I'm his wife, but I just can't deal with this kind of stress and responsibility. This isn't what I signed up for.
Then divorce him if you can't handle it. It's your life. Make your own choices. I'm done with this conversation. I understand you're in a difficult situation, but you both need to grow up and deal with it yourselves.
Wait, Sarah, please. Are you really going to abandon us like this? Won't you help us even a little bit?
You're damn right. I'm done with both of you. I despise you with every fiber of my being. You had the audacity to lock me out of my own husband's memorial service. Then you stood there grinning, treating his funeral like some kind of networking event. I will never forgive either of you for such cruel, heartless behavior. And now you have the nerve to ask for my help? Absolutely not.
No, wait, Sarah, that wasn't. I mean,
I'm leaving. While I'll always love my grandchildren, you and James have earned nothing but my contempt. For those kids' sake, I hope you two figure something out. In the end, these two desperate souls found themselves begging Michael for help, literally on their knees, with tears streaming down their faces. Their pride had finally crumbled in the face of mounting gambling debts and financial ruin. Michael, showing more kindness than they deserved, offered them both positions at one of the commercial warehouses he'd recently acquired. It wasn't glamorous work, but it was a chance at redemption. The transition wasn't smooth. Both James and Rachel complained constantly about the low wages and demanding schedule. James would frequently try to pull rank by mentioning he was the owner's brother, but the warehouse manager just reminded him that Michael had given explicit permission to terminate them if they caused any trouble. After that clear warning, James' complaints ceased immediately. Both he and Rachel continued their warehouse jobs, learning the meaning of honest work for the first time in their lives. Interestingly, rumors circulated that the warehouse manager and Rachel had history. Apparently, she had bullied him mercilessly in high school. Perhaps karma has a sense of humor after all. Now they spend their days doing honest work, slowly paying off their gambling debts dollar by dollar. It's not the life of luxury Rachel dreamed of, but it's teaching them both valuable lessons about responsibility and humility. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and leave us a comment down below. It means a lot to us. See you next time!